Hello and welcome to Nationwide on the network service of the NTA. I am Ifoma Ojinta and we begin with judicial matters. The chairman of the Independent Investigative Panel on allegations of human rights violation by the defunct SARS has ordered the Inspector General of Police to continue treating Julius Ogalanya, a victim of police gunshots, until he fully recovers. Omenka Amarachuku reports that Justice Suleiman Galadima also frowned at the failure of the police to produce 2 police officers before the panel.
Julius Ogalanya was shot by one Gabriel Adi of the Gwagwalada Division of the Federal Capital Territory Police Command, which shattered his leg to bear the cost of the treatment. Described the case as a gross violation of his fundamental human rights. The chairman, however, directed the panel's counsel, Chino Obiago-san, and the petitioner's counsel, Reginald Wani, to visit the IGP on the issue of the treatment. The panel also expressed disappointment with the attitude of the police by disobeying the orders of the panel by not producing 2 police officers alleged to arbitrarily arrested and detained one John Emeka Alozie, who has been missing for the past 3 years. The chairman observed that the police have acted with impunity in not complying with previous orders of the panel. Justice Suleiman specifically directed the IGP and the Anambra State Commissioner of Police to give effective order by producing the 2 officers to enable the panel arrived at a informed decision. The police counsel, James Idachaba, had earlier informed the panel that Godwin Ichoma, who was assigned to handle the matter, has retired. In Abuja, Omenka Amarachuku, NTA News.
The 21-story building collapse in Lagos has been a source of worry for many, much as authorities concerned are working tirelessly to rescue those trapped under the rubble. Our correspondent, Adeni Taiwo, who has been on ground in the last 4 days, confirmed to us earlier today that 36 dead bodies have been recovered. Some 9 survivors are in the hospital even as work continues, with hope to rescue more. We now join him at Ikoyi, Lagos, to give us an update on the state of events. Hello, Adeni.
Hello, Ifoma, and good afternoon. I wish I can, have something cheering to report, but it's been what it is here. It's a typical scene of disaster still, in Lagos, as search and rescue operators, are working to recover more bodies. So far, the number has grown from the 36 that I earlier reported. It has now grown to 38, with 3 of them being females. The governor of Lagos State, was here earlier too, and he spoke to not exactly to that figure because he gave 32, but NEMA gave us 38. I mean, I'm quoting NEMA when I said the figure is 38. So. It's been an anxious moment for relatives of, victims, because when they caught wind of that number, we had a moment where, there was an emotional outburst with some of them calling on the government, calling on the emergency workers to do more, and in order to ensure that more people are saved. But as it is 38 dead and 9 still, recovered alive. Earlier today, the governor was here and he spoke to the fact that the process of identifying dead bodies, is ongoing, with autopsy being conducted, and the result of that will be released tomorrow in order to allow for relatives, to be able to identify the dead. I mean, probably, take those who belong to them and, do what is necessary. But this step, of examining them, the governor said, is very, very necessary because of a coroner's inquest that is expected, to take place after, they finish from here. Earlier, he also said that a 6-man panel was set up. The intention is that this panel will investigate and make inquiries as to the immediate and remote causes of this particular incident. So I was hoping to have the NEMA spokesman, the head of NEMA in Lagos State, Mr. Ibrahim Franyiloye, but I understand that he's so deep into the operation, so he can't be available at this point in time to talk to me. So, like I said earlier on, it's been very tough. It's been very tough for relatives who are here. They've been keeping vigils. Some of them have been calling on government, calling on the emergency workers to do something. And the governor, Mr. Babajide Sanwo-Olu, I think it's right to say that he's leading, representing the state in sympathizing with these relatives, assuring them that government and emergency workers are doing everything necessary that can be done at this time. The state government has also set up psychosocial support that can assist them at this time. We have set up here an information center where they are sharing the information of those trapped under the building with the state government, and this is expected to assist in identifying the bodies. Also, the governor spoke about the fact that the exact number of those who are caught in this incident is yet to be known, but they are making effort in that regard. I think I will take a pause here and hand over to Kehinde Adebisi in the Lagos Network Center for continuation of Nationwide.
Thank you, Adeni, for the update. We wish you well where you are right now, and we also hope that the work will continue and more people will be rescued. We will continue to update you on the situation of things at the scene. Moving on now, the building could be facially well-structured and eye-rising in the most expensive location in Nigeria. But behind the painting and aesthetics are questions waiting for answers. In fact, it could be the next building to cave in, as the case with the Gerrard Street building collapse in Lagos. Beyond this, experts say government accusation of collapsed building is not enough to serve as deterrent, but should be extended to withdrawal of license of professionals involved in the construction. Marco Olale reports.
They will just come in a day and tell you they want to renovate a building that is meant for demolition. The next thing they will do is that they will remove the balconies. As you can see, they will remove only the balconies and beautify it. But the foundations and everything inside it is weak.
Ibrahim Olugbade's revelation is one of the fallout of the March 13, 2019 building collapse at Itafaji on Lagos Island. A 3-story building caved in and claimed 20 lives. Fast forward to 1st of November 2021, another building collapsed in Ikoyi, claiming lives with unspecified number of people still trapped within. But why this development has continued to agitate the minds of the people is the magnitude of building layers involved. Some say the 21-story building is the tallest to cave in the history of building collapse in Nigeria. But to professionals, the big question revolves around the technicalities and professional handling involved during construction.
The building was built on a 230 mm column, the size of a column that you use when you're building, a few stories, first floor, second floor. You understand what I'm saying? And if you take that all the way to, if that is true, and you take that all the way to the 21st story building, is a disaster waiting to happen.
With many hurdles crossed in terms of injecting professionalism in the construction of buildings in Nigeria, there are still concerns on cutting corners, poor supervision and not adhering to the rules of the game.
When the client is going against the design and the set standards, you as a professional have a right to advise him. He also has a right to accept your advice or reject it. But once he rejects your advice, I think the best thing to do is to, leave the job and report accordingly to the professional bodies.
Experts say institutionalizing regulatory guidelines and increasing supervision are the ways to achieving sanity within the industry.
People who jump the gun or do wrong have to be punished. I do remember the Council for Regulation of Engineering commissioners over their regulatory monitoring, where if they see a building that is suspicious, they go and serve some questionnaire and notices, and probably the next thing is that the place is being shut down.
Since lives cannot be sacrificed on the altar of ignorance or complacency, key players in the industry are calling for the activation of total monitoring mechanism on building under construction, while insisting on timely integrity tests for suspicious ones. In Lagos, Michael Olale, NTA News.
In a world largely affected by the impact of COVID-19, human resources operators have been encouraged to embrace strategies adapted in the new normal and ensure wellness of the workers through empathy and flexibility for improved performance in the workplace. This was the crux of discussion at the 9th Interactive Forum organized by the Industrial Training Fund for stakeholders in Lagos. Amaka O reports.
The Industrial Training Fund has continued to promote the potential of training and skills acquisition in Nigeria by providing training opportunities designed to build capacity and confidence of individuals, entrepreneurs, or employees of large organizations. Despite the COVID-19 pandemic, the parastatal was able to organize trainings across the country using evolving trends.
The main thrust of ITA program and services is to stimulate human performance, improve productivity, and induce value-added services in the public and private sector of the economy.
In ITM, management reactiveness and sense of responsibility set the tone of expanding our skills acquisition programs.
We need to look at our strategies, rework it. What can we do? Do we talk of cross-skilling, upskilling, reskilling, or expert skilling?
Awards were presented to unique clients and partners who have distinguished themselves, including the Zonal Director, NTA Lagos Network Center.
Part of the mandate of NTA is to support all organizations that are working towards the development of the country. And if you can see from their objective is to strengthen capacity of the nation's workforce to ensure that they deliver their best.
Established in 1971, the main thrust of the Industrial Training Fund is to provide services to stimulate human performance and improve productivity. In Lagos, Amaka O, NTA News.
You're still watching Nationwide on the network service of the NTA. Let's take a short break now. The news continues with Ifoma in Abuja.
Thanks for staying tuned. Now to election matters. Former Nigeria's head of state and chairman, National Peace Committee, General Abdulsalami Abubakar, has advised candidates for the November 6th Anambra State governorship election to be peace ambassadors. This was during a signing of peace accord by the candidates in Awka, Anambra State. Meogidi reports.
Anambra, a state attracting national prayer for peaceful election. And the men of peace are here, preaching peace to the 18 candidates for the election. They have been told to be peace ambassadors and signatures of commitment on white paper. Smiles and handshakes across party lines.
We call on all the candidates
their parties and supporters to accept the outcome of the vote. We cherish Anambra State, and we cherish the peace and unity of Nigeria.
That just like Edo and Ondo, the election on Saturday will be peaceful and the outcome will reflect the will of the Anambra voters. INEC has done everything possible to ensure credible elections in Anambra State under very challenging circumstances.
Yes, please. Will the smiles and the friendly dispositions we just experienced in this hall will be extended to the polling booths on Saturday? Nigerians pray such are replicated, and it is a time to wait till Saturday for such moments. Mie Ogede, NTA News.
Meanwhile, stakeholders in Anambra governorship election have inspected INEC sensitive materials under the supervision of INEC National Commissioner and Chairman, Information and Voter Education Committee, Festus Okoye, at the Central Bank, Awka. Ndemkalu completes the report.
Sensitive materials which are to be used for the governorship election were distributed and moved to each local government area, where they will also be distributed to registration areas or wards, and finally to polling units on election day. INEC National Commissioner and Chairman, Information and Voter Education Committee, Festus Okoye, stated that the electoral materials will be tracked to ensure there is no diversion, as heavy security personnel will accompany the materials to their various destinations.
We are following our rules and regulations and procedures in terms of moving these sensitive materials to the various local government areas.
Party representatives who were on ground to check the validity of the materials expressed optimism that with the assurances given by INEC, the materials will not be tampered.
I'm satisfied personally, believing that downwards, when we get down to the local governments and the wards, it will be as they have explained.
Well, the intention of those at the top are well intentioned.
So far, if you look behind me, you will see that the REC is countersigning the from EC8B and perhaps the C to show authenticity.
The Anambra governorship election, which will hold on Saturday, is expected to be transparent, free and fair. In Awka, Ndemkalu, NTA News.
And still on the Anambra State election, we will join our political correspondent, Mie Ogede, who has been in Awka for an update. Now, Mie, can you tell us how prepared is INEC as we speak for this election?
If I may come again, please, just once more.
Can you tell us how INEC, is prepared for this election?
Okay, INEC, we are at the INEC state headquarters in Awka. They are prepared. As you can see, they have started distribution to the various wards in the states. This black box you are seeing contains the much talked about BVAS, the biometric voter authentication system. And if you see this other side, it's quite a very busy place. Even police officers attached on election duty have started going to the riverine areas. And even non-sensitive materials, they have started distributing them to the various local government and wards. And Festus Okoye, the man supervising this election here in Anambra State, is very much around and is once again joining me to probably expatiate further. Festus Okoye, welcome to NTA Nationwide.
Thank you so much.
BVAS is the machine I'm seeing very common here. So how safe are they, considering issues relating to insecurity in election situations?
Well, as you are aware, we have more or less retired the smart card readers. So the BVAS has replaced the smart card readers as the valid means of authentication. Now you can see the quality of the BVAS and the sheer number of the materials we have. So what we have done is that we have evacuated all the sensitive materials from the central bank in terms of the ballot papers and in terms of the result sheets. And you see, as you can see, the representatives of the political parties, the security agencies were there when we evacuated them. Now all the BVAS have left to the various local governments. We only have the remaining 2 local governments here, that is Oka South and Dunukofia loading. So the moment they finish loading, they will move, and that will be the end of the evacuation from
briefly,
here.
Safety-wise, what assurance are you giving to Nigerians, especially coppers involved here?
Well, you can see that we are proceeding apace with this particular election. We are determined to conduct this particular election. We have assured the core members of their safety and their security. We have also insured them in terms of life insurance and accident insurance, and we encourage the people to come out in mass and exercise their democratic franchise, because it is their right and they should not compromise it.
Thank you, Festus Okoye, for always being there for us.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Earlier today, peace accord was also signed, and the smiles were there, the handshakes were quite warm, and but the sincerity otherwise of those smiles and the handshakes is what I can't tell for now until Saturday.
Thank you very much, Mayor. Thank you very much. Now, moving on, the Controller General of Corrections, Haliru Nababa, has declared all custodial centers red zone. This was made known by the Deputy Controller General of Corrections in charge of operations, Tukur Ahmed, during his confidence-building visit to Anambra State, preparatory to the November 6th governorship elections in the states. The DCG, who, in company of the Controller of Corrections, Anambra State Command, Pat Chukwuemeka, visited Oka and Onitsha custodial centers. He urged personnel to be professional and security conscious, stressing that on no account should there be security lapses in any of the custodial centers in the states. The statement by Francis Ekezie, Public Relations Officer of the Anambra State Command, indicates that Tukur admonished staff, especially the armed squad, to be at alert to avert any incursions from men of the underworld before, during and after the elections. He encouraged them to collaborate and seamlessly work with sister agencies who have been drafted to support the men at the custodial centers for effective security. He later visited the state headquarters of the Nigerian police, where he had closed-door discussions with the Commissioner of Police on security issues. He expressed his satisfaction on the security structure on ground, which portends no cause for alarm. And as the D-Day for the much-anticipated Anambra governorship elections draw nearer, election observers on Good Morning Nigeria are seeking a harmonized, coordinated and people-friendly approach by security agencies to inspire confidence in the electorate for a good turnout on Saturday, November 6th. Daniel Aderiye tells us more.
There seems to be some hope that citizens are interested in participating. They are looking forward to engage the process on Saturday. If the parties can commit to investing in getting the voters to turn out, I think we would have an elections where we would have better turnout of voters.
Also going as much as possible to liaise with our sons and daughters who are in the National Assembly, who are in the executive, so that whatever that is needed from the federal government or from, by law of the National Assembly will be created.
However, other guests noted that for trust and confidence to ensue between both the electorate and elected, there must be a conscious and intentional effort to ensure promises of development as railed out by the different candidates are kept.
Poverty is a main issue, is a key issue in Nigeria, and it is a key political tool, because you will find out that on November 6th, you will find out that most of the political parties will deploy a lot of resources to buy votes. And you will see citizens who are suffering, who are suffering the brunt of poverty. They will collect these monies and vote for the candidates who have paid them to vote for them.
They urge the people of Anambra to come out en masse to vote, not based on sentiment, but rather on the conviction that their votes will aid in delivering the dividends of democracy. In Abuja, Daniel Aderiye, NTA News.
Okay, for an update on security situation in Anambra State, we will now join our correspondent Ekene Indulwe, who has also been in Oka for that. Now, Ekene, you've been, around and about the state capital. What can you tell us about the state of security?
Thank you very much. Contrary to the perception that people out there have, I've been around the city. We came in last night and we've moved around. The ambience is that of calmness. We've seen security presence in most of the places we've been around to. The police presence here is heavy. The people are moving around doing their businesses. So far, there has not been any issue of violence whatsoever from what I've observed since I came in yesterday.
Kenny, you talked about, visible security presence around town in Anambra State. How do the people feel about this?
Is a mixed feeling for the people, but for the security presence, it gives the people a sense of security to move about doing their thing. Like as we are talking now, if you go to the state offices of the INEC, people are still around there collecting their PVCs. They have a sense of security with the presence they've seen so far. If you move around from street to street, you see police officers patrolling, you see joint security forces, civil defense, and the army. So I think some actually might think that the security presence might deter some from coming out to cast their ballots. But others feel reassured by the presence of these security officers.
Thank you very much, Ekene, and we'll be hoping for more updates from that. Okay, can you continue? I've just been told that you have the CP with you.
CP coming, and with the CP, first PRO, CP Frank Mba. Okay. Good afternoon, sir.
Yeah, good afternoon.
Okay, we would like to know the last-minute preparations that the police has for the November 6th elections in Anambra State.
Basically, at this stage, we're just crossing our T's and dotting our I's. We have a very robust, very comprehensive security arrangement for this election. We are lucky it is an off-cycle election, and so that also have placed us in a vantage position because we've got enough hands, we've got enough resources, both human and material, to actually deploy to Anambra and dominate the scene. We are making effective use of these resources, whether on the land, whether on the waterways, whether on air. We've got sufficient equipment to actually police these states. And we're also lucky that we're also getting very strong support and collaboration from our sister agencies, from the military, from the civil defense, from the customs, the immigration, the road safety, and the rest of them. And we're working together to ensure that we deliver to the people of Anambra a conducive environment for them to exercise their franchise and a safe environment for the conduct of a very credible and fair elections.
There is this threat by the IPOB. How can you reassure the people that we are going to maintain a safe environment for the elections?
Well, the people of Anambra State should just know that we are here for them. And we will be working day and night, 24/7, to ensure that every single threat to the smooth conduct of this election is identified, isolated, and neutralized.
Okay, that was the first PPRO CP Frank Mba. It's back to you now in the studio.
Thank you very much, Akane. Nnamdi, is also in Oka, and he's been talking to, the residents of Anambra State about the election, and he'll be joining us via Zoom. Nnamdi, if you can hear me, tell us how enthusiastic are the people about the election and what are their expectations?
Much like you did make allusions to, we've had the opportunity to put a cross session of Ndi Anambra, that's the local parlance here for people from Anambra State, and it's been a mixed grill of some sort. I mean, we met people who are keen and enthusiastic about the election. I mean, they were literally telling us that they cannot wait for Saturday to come and for the polls to open and for them to, exercise, to cast their votes. Like I did say, it's a misgrill. We also met a couple of persons who were apprehensive. A lot, of course, will be riding on security for this election. We do know, we just heard CP Frank about the first PRO make allusions to how prepared the police is, of course, in with support from sister agencies as well. So we will be hoping that the calmness that was seen around not just the city center, not just the state capital, Oka, but of course around other parts of the state, we've had the opportunity to visit some of the local governments, far from the city center, and the same calmness has also carried and tarried. We're hoping that these would ride onto Saturday proper. Of course, we know that the parties will be concluding their campaigns formally today by the stroke of midnight today. We're also hoping that their messages would have permeated to the electorate, to the people, and that would also drive the enthusiasm and drive people to come out to want to participate in this process. We're hoping that the calmness would carry, like we said. We're also hoping that this is not the calm before the storm. We're hoping that this is a kind of calmness that would, be an harbinger of success, a signal that better times are ahead for this exercise.
Thank you very much, Nnamdi. Thank you. We'll be expecting more updates as they come. Thank you very much. Let's now join Chinenye in Enugu for reports making rounds from that zone.
Thank you so much, Ifoma, and welcome to Enugu. The Federal Road Safety Corps Command Staff College, UDI, has inaugurated the Senior Course 1 for the senior management staff at the Command and Staff College, UDI, in Enugu State. Mina Adobi Ukobase reports that the inauguration was by the Joint Senate and House Committee on Federal Character and Intergovernment Affairs.
Led by the Special Guest of Honor and Secretary to the Government of the Federation, ably represented by Minister of Labor and Employment, Senator Chris Ngige, the Joint Senate and House Committee on Federal Character and Intergovernmental Affairs started the event by commissioning some vital projects at the FRSC Command and Staff College, UDI. During the inauguration, the Corps Marshal said the Corps now has the full complement of the core courses in the college with the Senior Course 1 and enumerated some of the achievements of the Command and Staff College.
Also this year, precisely on 6th May 2021, the Corps inauguration of the FRSC Marshal Inspectorate Training School at Owale, Delta State, an institution built solely for the Corps by the government of Delta State.
Enugu State Governor, represented, eulogized the activities of the Command and Staff College under Corps Marshal Boboye Oyeyemi and agrees that the inauguration of the Senior Course 1 was apt. Special Guest of Honor and Secretary to the Government of the Federation, represented by Minister of Labor and Employment, said the Senior Course 1 is a welcome development, especially as it further elevates the status and standard of qualification of marshals.
I must confess my pleasure at the level of infrastructural development and readiness for the college to take off today. It also shows that with mutual respect, understanding and trust, Nigeria can grow in leaps and bounds across board.
Also present were the Chairman House Committee on Road Safety, Muyiwa Folari, Chairman Senate Committee on Federal Character and Intergovernmental Affairs, Danjuma La, in Enugu, Mina Adobe Kobasi, NTA News.
To help actualize the goals of the Nigeria Road Safety Strategy, the Technical Working Group of the Road Safety Advisory Council is to be formed in all states of the Federation as a platform for a nationally coordinated response to road safety challenges in Nigeria. At the inaugural meeting of the group in Enugu, members expressed enthusiasm towards the success of the strategy. Susan Eze has the details.
A story of lives and properties lost through road crash, issues of road traffic congestions, management of accident scenes and victims, and other encumbrances to proper road safety administration are the matters before this technical working group on road safety, chaired by the Enugu State Deputy Governor.
How do all of us work together to be able to give that peace to our people in Enugu State?
With members drawn from all relevant government agencies as well as the private sector, The group is to adopt uniform standards in road traffic administration to achieve safety on the roads. Members agree that having a robust communication process, aggressive sensitization, and strict enforcement of traffic rules are key to achieving these goals.
We need to change our orientation. Most of us are always in a hurry. Those issues of police report, deposits, blood donation and all that, those are serious encumbrances to the administration of accidents. People no longer want to be law-abiding in so many ways.
With the Yuletide season fast approaching, the Enugu Technical Group on Road Safety is brainstorming to identify the immediate and remote causes of traffic congestions within and around the metropolis and to minimize road accidents before, during, and after the season. In Enugu, Susan Eze, NTA News.
And those are the stories from Enugu. Nationwide continues with Jenny in Port Harcourt.
Good evening and welcome to Port Harcourt. The French Navy and the Nigerian Navy, in collaboration with allied partners, have kick-started Exercise Grand Africa 2021 to improve the regional security within the Gulf of Guinea. Kingsley Amajiri reports that the Chief of Naval Staff was represented by the Flag Officer commanding Central Naval Command.
The Gulf of Guinea is the northeasternmost part of the tropical Atlantic Ocean, with the Bight of Benin among the countries along the West African coast. This exercise is targeted at protecting the Gulf from the activities of sea pirates, illegal oil bunkering, and ensure security of investments along the coastline. Within the 2 days of this exercise, 13 naval ships, 2 helicopters and gunboats will be patrolling the regional waters to stem the activities of criminals.
It is very important, considering the multinational nature of maritime crimes, for exercises such as Exercise Grand African, which serve as viable platforms for multinational and multi-agency collaboration in the fight against these maritime crimes and in ensuring security of the maritime environment.
French naval troops who are already in Nigeria will be joining from the Lagos Maritime as the Allied forces collaborate to make the water safe for investors. The EFCC, DSS, NIMASA, and the Nigerian Customs are among participating security agencies in the country. In Port Harcourt, Kingsley Amajiri, NTA News.
Cross River State Governor Ben Ayade has assured Nigerians that despite the delay occasioned by the environmental impact assessment and the COVID-19 pandemic, a reasonable part of the superhighway project will be completed before his tenure comes to an end. Paul Abel reports.
The superhighway is one of the key signature projects of the Governor Ayade administration, geared towards connecting northern Nigeria with the Atlantic Ocean to allow for evacuation of finished products.
The income of Cross River State cannot achieve the superhighway, but when you inject in the intellectual money, which has infinite transposition, is illimitable. 6-lane superhighway, that concept, which is held back by 2 years by COVID-19, held back by another 3 years by a court issue between Cross River State government and the federal government over the issues of EIA. But I'm happy to announce that in spite of the 5 years delay, Cross River State is moving fast on the superhighway.
The governor is also optimistic that the West Africa Construction and Fabrication Academy will reduce unemployment and an overflow of youths into politics. The governor also says that low-income earners must be trained to acquire skills and be comfortable if crime must be reduced in the society. In Calabar, Paul Abel, NTA News.
And that's it from here. It's now back to you, former in Abuja.
Thank you very much. Now, speakers at this year's National Lecture Series, organized by the Arewa Media Interactive and Development Forum, say Nigeria's unity is non-negotiable. With the theme, Unity in Diversity, the forum brought together stakeholders to rub minds with a view to coming up with implementable solutions to the problems. Former Vice President Atiku Abubakar, Governor of Akwa Ibom State, Udom Emmanuel, and other speakers believe Nigeria's unity is non-negotiable. Speakers emphasized the need to foster unity among the diverse groups in the country. Reports in some media outlets on alleged hike in petrol price by private depot owners have heightened the concern of some motorists who are resorting to panic buying. NTA News went around some petrol stations for a fact check. Lydia Sampson reports.
Every motorist's nightmare is to wake up to the news of any indication, speculation, or interruption of petrol supply. Whether true or not, panic buying becomes the next logical step.
I think my petrol is just low, so I just came to buy petrol. Yeah, I'm just hearing it from you now, so it's just scarcity or something, I don't know.
For now, I think we charge 45,000, and we are still having standing trucks standby 45,000 too. So for now, I don't think we would have any challenge.
Though these motorists are optimistic that the situation for now is stable, the question is there any cause for alarm?
There is absolutely no reason for panic buying. The problem will only arise if there is no supply, if you don't have the products. As I'm talking to you now, we have in country a supply of about 1.2 billion liters.
As at the time of filing this report, most petrol stations visited were dispensing, with petrol tankers still waiting to offload the product. In Abuja, Lydia Sampson, NTA News.
Edo State Police Command strategizes on tackling insecurity, and Agatha in our Benin studio will be our guide. Hello, Agatha.
Hello, Ifoma. Thank you for joining us in Benin. Plans have been concluded by the state government and the State Police Command to train personnel of vigilante outfits operating in the state. These measures to ensure more professionalism and enable the personnel operate in line with international best practices. The State Deputy Governor, Philip Shaibu, disclosed this at a security town hall meeting in Ovia North East local government area in Edo State. Goodluck Enaini has the report.
In order to arrest the growing security challenges, government, among other things, provided for the vigilante group to complement effort of the police. Although their presence since inception has helped in calming troubled waters, the blessings have been that of mixed feelings. There have been cases of accidental discharge as well as instances of human rights abuses. This trend has been widely condemned, and this fora has therefore availed government, the police, heads of the vigilante, and other stakeholders the opportunity to find a common ground to chart a new course.
Obviously, we are taking certain things home. The issue of kidnapping is a major concern. We need it completely eradicated.
This has made us to assess what the vigilantes are doing and how they are faring and what the community feel about them.
The community have to own the security architecture because they know everyone. They know the people who have volunteered to be members of the Edo State Vigilante Network.
For people of the area, reduction in cases of kidnapping and armed banditry has come as a relief. The farmer, herders, and other stakeholders promised to ensure its sustenance.
We must screen those we are bringing or enlisting as vigilante in our various community.
People where you have there, people where they get children, where they get family, where they get camp. So we join them, we work together.
Stakeholders are satisfied with the outcome of the meeting, which they see as a new beginning and a sign of good things to come. From Ofuwegbe, Goodluck Enaini, NTA News.
In Ekiti State, thousands of women have benefited from an empowerment program of the wife of the State Governor, Erelu Bisi Fayemi, in a bid to improve their social and economic status. The initiative, which is to ensure that no one is left behind in pursuance of the Sustainable Development Goal of gender equality, has touched the lives of over 3,500 women across the state. Kola Adebobuye has the report.
Aside farming, many Ekiti women engage in petty trading, which had over the years been their major source of livelihood. Lack of access to financial support to improve their businesses remain a challenge most women are confronted with in their journey of becoming self-reliant. The Obirin Women Empowerment Program, an initiative of the wife of Ekiti State Governor, is however designed for capacity building and empowerment of women, which operates through clusters and cooperative growth across 177 wards in Ekiti State.
It is not just for poor women, it is also an opportunity for women who are in leadership positions to interact with women from their local communities, to help them solve problems, and to try and make sure that we can all work together.
The lecture is also targeted at fostering peer learning, knowledge sharing, skills acquisition, socioeconomic and risk mitigation interventions for vulnerable women in the state, which is described as a good development to improve socioeconomic well-being of women. In Ado-Ekiti, Kola Adebobuyi, NTA News.
That's our package for Mites. Back to you for the rest of Nationwide.
Many thanks, Agatha. It's day 2 of Nyanya Kefi chaotic traffic situation, with motorists and commuters lamenting the hardship caused by security checkpoints mounted by operatives of the Nigerian military. Hawa Gimba has an update.
The Nyanya Kefi unusual chaotic situation Thursday morning was described to be worse than the Wednesday episode, with a standstill scenario for several hours, leaving motorists and commuters locked in the traffic. Commuters and residents, most of whom abandoned their vehicles to join others to trek, are appealing to relevant authorities to help the situation being experienced.
You can imagine from here to that under bridge. Before I got to that place from my house, it took me 2 hours. I am here trekking.
Don't know what to do. In fact, look at people everywhere. We are just walking, trekking since yesterday. It's not really easy. Look at me now. If I go to my place of CDS, the woman will I will not sign for you because you came late.
But I think that if there is any intelligence report that there's going to be a challenge from this axis, this may not really be the right approach.
I'm tired, as I see me now, so I'm walking down from AYA. I'm going to Nyanya. So what will I do? I have no option. No motor, no bike, and if you see the way bikes are running on the road, motors risk are running on the road. So I'm afraid. I'm trekking on the road. I'm still afraid of what anything happen.
The traffic gridlock covered long kilometers on the axis, which stretched to the popular Kubo furniture markets and motorcycle operators providing an alternative means for movements. Hawagimba, NTA News.